Motorcycles in Mayapur, MM. Someday they may be outlawed. Some devotees would like them outlawed. Yeah. So today's April 15th, and today's quote is entitled, "Everything is favorable." On the highest level of consciousness, we see that everything, even the apparent difficulties and obstacles, are coming to help us. So that's obviously that's a high level of consciousness. It's a high vision, to see that everything's favorable. But you may have heard this story I told before. One devotee, her husband, without asking her, got permission to take sannyas. He lied to Prabhupada and said that she was okay with it. And then she found out and she came to Prabhupada. She wasn't in the same city, so she came and she said, this is horrible. I'm completely frustrated. I'm completely miserable. I hate everyone. I hate everything. And Prabhupada said, oh, very good. You're making advancement. So, when everything goes wrong, what happens? We become somewhat disgusted with everything. And in that disgust, what's actually happening? In most cases, we're becoming detached. Or if things are good, we're becoming more interested in Krishna consciousness to read Prabhupada's books to help us solve the dilemma or solve the suffering, or praying to Krishna to help us work it out or whatever. So, anything that brings you closer to Krishna, you have to see it as good. And practically, if we see the world as favorable, then everything will bring us closer to Krishna, because we'll see that every kick, every problem, every frustration, everything that isn't good actually is good, because if everything were perfect, we would have a really hard time being Krishna conscious. And every time we learn about some suffering that one of our friends has gone through, or we experience it ourselves, really what we should see is it's just reminding us of what Krishna said in the Gita, that this is the nature of the world. And we know that, it's just that we don't want to experience it personally. It's easier to read it in a book, isn't it? It's easier to talk about it, give a class. Whenever we're all comfortable, we're not suffering, so it's easy to talk about how bad this material world is and how we're going to grow old. And it's easy to talk about growing old when you're 25, isn't it? And how you're going to die. Yeah, when you're 25, the last thing on your mind is growing old and dying. So it's easy to talk about, but when it comes to us, it's more powerful because it's real. And so when you talk about, oh yeah, we're going to get old and die, and the world is a place of suffering, and then you go out to the beach and go swimming and have a great time and eat some pizza, it's hard to really have a realization. But when it actually comes to you and you look at it and you go, oh my God, I am experiencing what Krishna has told me. I'm experiencing what Prabhupada has told me. Like many times in my life, when I've experienced suffering, specifically suffering as a byproduct of me trying to enjoy and be happy, I always think after it happens, Prabhupada, you told me this was going to happen, but I'm so dull, I'm so stupid that I just didn't believe it, or I thought I believed it, or I forgot it, or whatever. So, all that's happening it's just a reminder of what we're learning. And so sometimes we need that. We need that reminder in real life, in full color, in real time. Not that I wish it upon anybody, but sometimes when it happens, or all the time when it happens, we have to see that if we take it in the right way, it will bring us closer to Krishna. It will make us go to Krishna conscious philosophy and to look, well, how am I going to deal with this situation? And realize my only shelter is in the devotees, in our philosophy, in the practices of Krishna consciousness. I'm not going to get shelter in the material world, because the material world was the place that caused the misery in the first place, right? So you understand what I'm saying. I hope you understand. I know you understand. Now, whether it's hard to accept it, that's the problem. You understand it, but sometimes it's hard to accept, how something bad can be good, and why would Krishna allow something bad? And sometimes we get mad at Krishna. But the Bhagavatam says, don't get mad at Krishna, think, I deserve worse. That's the proper attitude. Krishna, why did you do this? Proper attitude is, well, I deserve worse. That's the reality. That's hard to admit, but that's the proper attitude. So today's quote was, everything's favorable. If you see it that way, everything will help you. Everything in the material world will help you become more Krishna conscious. Even the bad, the ugly, even the good, whatever it is, it'll all help you become Krishna conscious if you take it in the right way, that everything is meant to bring you closer to Krishna. And so, if something bad happens, don't blame Krishna, don't get discouraged. Take it in the right way, that Krishna is just bringing the philosophy into your life, the reality of the way the world is. And this can help you tremendously become more Krishna conscious, more detached, more determined. Hare Krishna.